Arian sat in his dimly lit room, staring blankly at the crumpled eviction notice in his hands. The once vivid dreams of building a better future had faded into distant memories, overshadowed by unpaid bills and empty promises. His stomach growled, a harsh reminder of yet another skipped meal. The walls of his small, cluttered apartment seemed to close in on him, suffocating him with the weight of his failures. He looked around at the remnants of a life that had spiraled out of control. A dusty guitar in the corner reminded him of the music career he once dreamt of pursuing. The unopened self-help books on his shelf mocked his lack of action. Every object in the room seemed to whisper accusations. "You're not good enough. You'll never make it." That night, Arian broke down completely. Tears streamed down his face as he questioned why life had been so cruel to him. He thought about giving up. The idea of escaping it all seemed tempting. But deep down, a faint voice whispered, "This isn't the end." The next morning, Arian's phone buzzed. It was a message from an old school friend, Rohan. They hadn't spoken in years. Rohan had been in a similar position, broke and hopeless. But now, his life was different. He invited Arian for coffee, promising to catch up. When Arian met Rohan, he was struck by how confident and content his friend seemed. Over steaming mugs of coffee, Rohan shared his story. How he had started a small business, failed several times, and finally found success through persistence and learning. "The first step is deciding you won't let life dictate your story," Rohan said, his eyes gleaming with conviction. "You have to own it." That conversation sparked something in Arian. For the first time in years, he felt a flicker of hope. He returned home that evening with a newfound determination. He didn't know how he would change his life, but he knew one thing. He had to start. Arian decided to begin small. He took up a part-time job delivering groceries. It wasn't glamorous, but it was a start. With every delivery, he reminded himself that this was just the beginning of his journey. In the evenings, he immersed himself in learning, watching online tutorials, reading articles, and exploring ways to develop new skills. One night, while browsing the internet, he stumbled upon digital marketing. The idea of helping businesses grow online intrigued him. He decided to dive deep into it, even though he had no prior experience. Each evening became a battle of persistence as he juggled his job and his studies. There were moments when exhaustion threatened to derail him, but Arian reminded himself of why he started. As Arian's efforts progressed, so did the voices of doubt. Friends and family scoffed at his choices. "Why waste time learning something so complicated?" they'd say. "Just get a stable job and stop dreaming." Their words cut deep, but Arian refused to let them define his path. Late at night, when he lay in bed, the doubts would creep in. What if they're right? What if I'm not cut out for this? But Arian had begun practicing a new habit: self-affirmation. Every time he felt overwhelmed, he'd close his eyes and visualize the life he wanted. He'd see himself running a successful business, living in a home he owned, and being proud of the man he'd become. These moments of visualization became his anchor, helping him push through the noise of negativity. Fate introduced Arian to someone who would change his life forever. At a local workshop on entrepreneurship, Arian met Mr. Kapoor, a seasoned entrepreneur with decades of experience. Mr. Kapoor noticed Arian's hunger for growth and took him under his wing. "Success isn't about talent," Mr. Kapoor told him one day. "It's about showing up every single day, even when it's hard. Consistency is what separates dreamers from achievers." Under Mr. Kapoor's guidance, Arian learned valuable lessons about time management, discipline, and setting realistic goals. He also learned the importance of networking and building meaningful connections. These lessons became the foundation of his transformation. Arian launched his first project, an online campaign for a local business. He poured his heart into it, but it flopped. The client was disappointed, and Arian felt crushed. For days, he avoided looking at the campaign metrics, afraid of confronting his failure. But Mr. Kapoor's words echoed in his mind. Every failure has a lesson. Don't waste it. Arian analyzed the campaign, identified what went wrong, and vowed to do better next time. Instead of viewing the failure as a setback, he saw it as a stepping stone. Slowly but surely, his resilience grew stronger. Arian's breakthrough came unexpectedly. A small business owner he'd pitched weeks ago decided to give him a chance. Arian worked tirelessly on their campaign, applying everything he'd learned from his past mistakes. The campaign was a success, and the client's sales skyrocketed. Word spread, and Arian began receiving inquiries from other businesses. This small victory marked a significant turning point in his journey. For the first time, Arian felt like he was on the path to something greater. As Arian's business grew, he remembered the struggles he had faced. He started a free mentorship program to help others in similar situations. Through webinars and workshops, he shared his knowledge and experiences, hoping to inspire others to believe in themselves. Helping others became a source of immense joy for Arian. It reminded him of how far he'd come and reinforced his belief that success was not just about personal gain, but about lifting others along the way. Arian's life transformed in ways he never imagined. His business expanded, and he achieved financial stability. He invested in his personal growth, attending seminars, reading extensively, and continuously improving his skills. His relationships improved as well, as he mended old ties and built new ones based on mutual respect and support. But Arian never let success get to his head. He stayed grounded, remembering the days when he had nothing. His humility and dedication became the pillars of his sustained growth. One evening, Arian stood on the balcony of his new home, gazing at the city lights. He reflected on his journey, the struggles, the sacrifices, and the moments of doubt. He realized that the true transformation wasn't just financial, it was the shift in his mindset. Success, he understood, wasn't about the destination. It was about the journey, the lessons learned, and the person he had become. Arian's story was proof that no matter how broken your circumstances, with the right mindset and relentless effort, you can rewrite your destiny.